Hope this is finding you well wherever and whenever you are listening to this. Today it's a quick podcast. I wanted to speak to you about evolution and your own personal evolution. And I suppose what could lead to a global revolution, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. So you may have heard of Charles Darwin. Okay, he was one of the greatest scientists of all time. And he actually invented the theory of evolution, which then set off pretty much a global revolution in the way we viewed life on the planet Earth. He did a lot of things, and some of them may be controversial. You may agree or disagree with some of his theories, but let's not get into that. Let's just look into one of his theories, okay, that has been accepted by many as being the absolute truth. He noticed that it wasn't the strongest of species that survived. No. It wasn't the ones who were the strongest or the biggest. It was actually the ones who were able to adapt to change. And that's really important for me to speak to you today, because adaptation is survival. It's strength. Okay? So that is your strength. It's not how big you are or how much you know. It's how able you are to adapt. And this doesn't work just for your English. Because remember, I'm not just an English tutor. That's not who I am. Remember, I'm a coach. And whenever you work with me, what you're getting is actually your career, your life direction, your personal relationship success. That's what I help you achieve. English is just the mechanism by which I assist you. It's the way that I help you turn that key in the lock. By improving your English, I help you access those areas that I've just mentioned that have been currently restricted to you or not as easily accessible, okay? But when we work together, I am teaching you and coaching you to adapt, to build your strength. And Darwin also noticed another thing, that killing errors was more powerful than adding new things. So, for example, a species of animal that was able to identify errors in either their DNA or the way they were living in their environment and corrected them always survived. In other words, they always won. Okay? They were able to carry on and reproduce, and then they are still existing today. The ones who couldn't, the ones who were unable to do so, okay, and just carried on blindly, died. Sadly, they died. They did not win, they definitely lost, and so did their future generations. So what's this got to do with you? And more importantly, what on earth has it got to do with my coaching with you, either on Cambly or in my online consultancy? Well, let me tell you this. Most students and tutors and coaches and consultants and everybody else in between seem to be rather obsessed these days with adding new things to their students' learning regime. Okay, now I'm all for adding new things, okay, such as in new techniques and technologies and suggestions. And even when we are fully competent, then we can add new things. But I'm talking about the type of teachers who try to add new vocabulary to you. They just keep adding and adding and adding and adding and adding before you've even established your existing vocabulary is working for you, and also being able to use that and have it show up in your spoken language before you start to add more additional sentence structures. I work with students who insist when they contact me at first that they absolutely need to make themselves know more vocabulary. They need bigger sentence structures and they need more. And I absolutely adore you lovely students who are that type of mind. You have a passion for learning, and I understand where it comes from. But when you work with me, and I'm sure many of you will recognize this statement I'm about to say, at first, what we do is simply identify where you currently are. Okay? The chances are you likely have a good command of English, and if not, of course we can improve that. But when I work with you, the majority of my advanced level students have a good standard. It's just that some areas are falling down. It might be the grammar, it might be the tense, and it might be certain pieces of vocabulary. And my job, my secret ingredient as a coach, I have many, but one of them is to help identify those weaker points and pick them up. In other words, we correct your errors. So just as in this explanation of Darwin for you, okay, the most successful species does not add new things. We simply identify your errors and correct them so that you win. That will be and is your strength, and that is the strength of all of my students and clients who work with me in this way. So whilst you might be working with a teacher right now, or a coach, or some online program that is obsessed with giving you new things, I would suggest you want to think about that, because that's kind of neurotic. And it's kind of like people who are just all over, almost want to do it all and right now. And this is not sensible. Okay? In fact, it's not sensible, it's scientifically proven to kill species. And I want you to survive, and I want you to do more than survive, I want you to thrive. So the best thing that you can do right now today is to look at what you're doing, how you're learning your English, and remove errors, not add new things to your learning right now. Okay? Now, I absolutely do not mean you stop adding new techniques to help you improve your existing English. But I do mean don't add more new sentence structures, new phrases, whatever, until you can correct the errors in your existing ones. That is just crazy. It's the definition of madness. And if you speak with me and book a session, I will show you absolutely how. And it will be the best move you ever made. I can guarantee you that. I'm so sure and confident in my ability to help you, like I've helped hundreds of other students already, both on Cambly, in my own business, that I can show you exactly how to do this for yourself. It's totally within your reach. So let me give you an example. The student who focuses on just one aspect, okay, one part of their grammar or their tense, right, or one part of their idioms, and he or she removes the errors from these areas and seeks perfection. Okay, that's one example. The other example is a student who focuses on 3 different types of new phrasing, right? Okay, 3 different types of grammatical things that he or she wants to focus on, and perhaps 15 new pieces of vocab every single day, right? Okay, and is doing that on a daily basis. Well, he or she cannot remove the errors and seek perfection. In fact, working that way, they might feel they're being more productive, they might feel that they're learning a lot, but they're not. They are deliberately adding more errors and seeking imperfection. And that then leads to frustration, leads to demotivation, then leads to that little voice that I talk about saying, oh, you can't do this, look how useless you are. Stop. Right now, stop, because this behavior is dangerous, and if left unchecked, well, it will end in extinction. It will either end in you just deciding to give up trying to pursue English because you'll perceive it as too difficult, or give up trying to pursue your career or your personal success or your scholarship entry. That is madness. So stop adding things right now. Start removing things, and start removing them with me today, and eliminate your errors. Let's do this together, because that's exactly what we do. It's going to be good for your health, both physically and mentally. It's going to be good for your happiness, okay? And it's also going to be very good for your personal success and bank account, all right? So if you're ready to stop your madness and start growing through subtraction, yeah, I did say that, you can absolutely grow through subtracting things, all right? Speak to me today. You can pop along to my website, that's eslbusinessenglishexperts.com. Book a session with me, just one session, and then you decide if you want to book the rest. Let's see exactly where you currently are with your English, and let's identify the areas that we need to fix, those errors, and get you moving forward like you have never seen before. Here's to your every success, and stay safe. More soon.